What's up, losers? Today I'm back with another r/nice guys nightmare. Checking out a couple of terrifying or tragic posts from some rather troubled men, sharing my responses to them, and lightening the mood with a few jokes where appropriate. This is episode 31 in the Nice Guys series, and I'm ready to lose all faith in humanity. So without further ado, let's get into it.
You're simply a bad woman. And bad pick for saying that. Or thinking so venomously. A man has a biological imperative to pursue. Not pursue unless she says not interested. Pursue, chase, obtain. Yes, like an item. No, you don't have to like it. But you will either get over it or be ruled by it. Just like women won't stop being snobby. Entitled beaches. We have to put up with that too. The suck goes both ways. Princess. Dude never forced himself on her. He just loved her.
Jesus fricking Christ. He didn't force himself on her. He just loved her. I think I'm going to throw up. Someone better lock this dude up. And throw away the key. Because he's clearly a danger to society. I mean, the dude actually thinks that men are biologically compelled to force themselves upon women, and that even if a woman doesn't want it, fights back, and has to be physically coerced, it's still a display of love on the part of the man. Shudders. Fricking gross. Man, I don't even know what to say. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, this rogue glorifying psycho has the absolute audacity to call women snobby and entitled, and act like men are the real victims in this situation. Mother fricker, you are literally arguing that men are entitled to do whatever they want to women, without their consent, and objectify them however they please. You don't get to call anybody entitled. Full fricking stop. Jesus. Honestly, reading this has straight up put me in a bad mood. Like, it bothers me very deeply that there are men out there who believe this shit. That their purpose is simply to obtain women like objects. And that consent doesn't matter. And it bothers me even more that guys like this are so comfortable in their beliefs that they will brazenly go around sharing them with everyone. Because in a world that made sense, you'd hope that anyone who was twisted enough to believe such crap would at the very least have the sense to keep it to themselves. But no, they're happy to tell everyone about it. Probably because they know that there's no shortage of creeps out there with the same sick thoughts that they have. Sighs. What a messed up world. Moving on.
I finally got her, then lost her within 24 hours. I'm 23, and the barmaid I've been in love with, and after for about a year, finally agreed to go for a drink with me. After ages of chasing her. She wasn't sure, 'cause she's 29, but I talked her into it. I slept with her that night. And it was literally the best sex I've ever had in my life. I agreed to meet her at her work the next day. I was on cloud 9. This was where it all went wrong. Next day I was waving at her at the end of the bar. And she waved back. The guy next to me goes, "You know her?" He seemed friendly enough, and I needed to talk to someone about it. As I'd already told all my mates. I told him actually yeah. I slept with her last night. Best sex I've ever had in my life. She's just wild. I told him so many personal details about her. Pretty much everything. Then later that night, I saw the guy showing her his phone, and glaring daggers at me. She looked at me, started crying a bit, then looked angry, then refused to talk to me at all, or serve me. I didn't know the guy at the bar was her childhood best friend. And he had recorded a good deal of me bragging about sleeping with her. The snake showed her the footage. And now she point blank refuses to talk to me. She's blocked me on Facebook, blocked my number, and every time I try calling on a mate's phone, She just hangs up. It's so cruel. I had her, finally, and then her mate pulls that on me. It's not fair. I love this girl, and nobody will ever treat her as well as I could have. Until he ruined it. I cry about this almost daily since. It's taken away all the joyful memories of sex with her that night. 'Cause all I can think of is what I've lost. I can't even brag to my friends about it anymore. 'Cause the memory is tainted. I need to convince her to give me another chance. I said literally nothing bad about her when I was talking about the sex. It was nothing but compliments. But she doesn't see it that way apparently. And said to my brother, who I sent over to apologize for me, that if I was really her friend, wouldn't be bragging about her to random strangers at her workplace. And that I've apparently proven I'm nowhere near mature enough for her. It was one mistake. I didn't know he was her friend, let alone recording me. It's so cruel that I finally got her, then had her snatched away from me. I passed her in the street the other day, and as soon as she saw me she crossed over. She can't even look at me, and it's not fair. I just want a second chance. She won't even serve me at the bar anymore. Refuses all contact with me. I just want to make it up to her, but have no idea how, when she won't even talk to me.
Wow, what a tragic tale. My heart really breaks for this guy. To think that his beautiful love story was just beginning to blossom. Only for it to be stripped away so cruelly. At the hands of this absolute monster. Through no fault of his own, of course. Doesn't it just bring tears to your eyes? Ha ha, no, but seriously. If this story is true, which I'm a bit iffy on, what with the secret recording and all that. But if it is true, this dude really couldn't be any more clueless if he tried. Could he? Like, where on earth did he get the idea that the appropriate response to an enjoyable sexual encounter is to go around bragging about it in excruciating detail to anybody who will listen, up to and including random strangers at a bar? I can't be the only one who thinks that that's totally nuts. Right. I mean, not only is it a massive violation of her privacy and betrayal of her trust, but it's also just supremely, incomprehensibly immature. As she rightly noted, you're a grown-ass man. For frick's sake, show a little damn class. You'd think that he was bragging about a new skateboard or some shit. It's crazy. I also find his defense of, I was only saying nice things about the sex, pretty laughable. Like, the issue is not whether or not you were being flattering enough of her in your vivid description of the sexual liaison. The issue is that you shared private, intimate details with a whole bunch of random people without her permission, just so that you could get a few pats on the back and feel like a winner. It's a horrible, violating thing to do, and she is completely right to be upset about it, and to not want to have anything to do with you after that. I mean, if someone did that to me, I would have the exact same response. Maybe even worse. Because she trusted you, she opened herself up to you, and you betrayed that trust in the most demeaning and humiliating way. It's utterly shameful, and the fact that this dude doesn't recognize what he did wrong at all, and would prefer to blame the friend for looking out for her, says it all about how much growing up he needs to do before he's ready for an adult relationship. Oh, and I forgot to mention this before, but the fact that he's upset that he can no longer brag about the sex to his friends really suggests that this personal growth is not going to come anytime soon. Because even after her explicitly telling him what he did wrong, and it being blindingly obvious to anyone with a brain, he still thinks that the friend is the problem, that he's the real victim in the situation, and that there was nothing that he would have done differently, other than not getting caught. As I say, clueless beyond measure, astounding. Onto the last post.
Frick love, man. Why doesn't she see that he's literally only with her? 'Cause no one else wants his sorry ass. Sure, yeah, he's my friend, and I betrayed him. I fricked her a few times. But like, why doesn't she just drop him and be with me? Now she wants to repair whatever sheet she has with him, while I have to watch everyone and everything good in my life slip away. Why don't I get happiness? Ha, I would kill him if I could get away with it. Honestly, I was hoping their fight would cause a breakup. And I hope he really does go through with cheating on her and making her feel like she'd more. All I need is the satisfaction that he loses more. At this point, would be nice if she was mine. But it seems like that will slip away over the next few months. Ever so slowly. I hate that she could have been mine if I talked to her a few months earlier. I hate that I ever met him all those years ago. 'Cause the only reason I know her is 'cause of him. Why can't he just stop stealing all the good things in my life? I am so desperate to get her, I literally looked into black magic. I don't understand why the universe is so cruel. I can't bring myself to remove myself from her, because I don't want to be with anyone else. And I'll spend the rest of my life hating it. She's so freaking amazing, and I don't get why love hurts like this. There's no one out there like her. Why does he exist? It's like she has attachment issues or some shit. Why do I have to suffer like this? Watching her slip away, when it could have been so good. So freaking good. I don't give a shit if it's wrong to betray him, etc. etc. Anyway, I feel like shit and want to die a little bit. But I honestly don't think it's worth killing myself over. Because the pain feels so good sometimes too. That's a wrap. I'm out.
Good lord. This guy certainly has a flair for the dramatic. Doesn't he? Reading this post, you'd think that he was a character in one of Shakespeare's plays or something. When really he's just some dude screaming anonymously into the void on Reddit. Trying to make sense of his own hateful mind. How sad. It's kinda funny to me how this guy, wallowing in self-pity as he is, seems to expect other people to feel sorry for him when they read his post. Because I can only speak for myself here, but I have a hard time feeling anything other than revulsion. Like, the guy is astoundingly jealous and bitter. He betrayed his friend, but apparently feels no remorse for it whatsoever. He wants to see both of them suffer. For his own sick satisfaction. He has meditated on murder. And, for some reason, black magic. And on top of all that, he is sickeningly whiny and self-pitying. I know we're supposed to look for the good in people, and believe that everyone can be redeemed. But for the life of me, I can't help but see this guy as a vile little creature. And I doubt that I'm alone in feeling that way. In fact, I can scarcely conceive of anything that could be said in his defense. And I would be shocked to hear anyone say that they received a remotely positive impression of him from the post. Because realistically, how could you? I guess the moral of the story is, depressing as this sounds, that some people really are just in it for themselves. They only value friends so long as they're useful to them. They feel entitled to have their romantic feelings reciprocated, no matter how toxic they are. And they view themselves as the perpetual victim, even as they actively plot and scheme against those they claim to care about. Sighs. It's a brutal world out there. Man, keep your eyes open for these snakes in the grass. You never know where they could be lurking, waiting for their chance to strike. And on that rather somber note, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed reading through these posts with me, even if they were a little disturbing at times, and that you got something out of my commentary. What do you think? Do men have a biological imperative to pursue, chase, and obtain women, even in the absence of consent? Is it a good idea to tell all of your friends and random strangers. Intimate details of your sexual encounters. Is black magic an effective way to get the girl? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll tell everyone I know, and everyone you know, about that time we hooked up. Sparing no detail. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.